We begin tonight with a warning and 2 arrests over credit card skimmers on gas pumps in the Coastal Bend. Police say they arrested 2 teens during a traffic stop today. Our Taylor Alanis joins us now from a Corpus Christi place where they found skimmers. Taylor, the teens might be part of a much larger operation.
Yeah, Mackenzie, police say this is the hotel where those 2 Romanian sisters were operating out of while they placed dozens of credit card skimmers around the Sinton, Odom, Corpus Christi, and Portland area. And this strange discovery all started last night around 9 when an officer made a traffic stop on U.S. Highway 181 just south of Moore Street. Police say inside the car was 17-year-old Francesca Simpianu and her 15-year-old sister. Simpianu handed the officer a fake Romanian ID. That's when the officer asked both sisters to step out of the car. And after investigating, police found 2 credit card skimmers strapped to the thighs of the 15-year-old girl. After interviewing Simpiano, police searched her hotel room where they found 2 more skimmers and a device that's used to build them. The younger sister was released to a family member, but Simpiano faces 4 felony charges. Portland Police Chief Mark Corey says this might be a family affair. A relative of Simpiano was charged in New Mexico for similar crimes.
What we've encountered are 2 suspects that are involved in a much larger organized criminal group, and it's going to take quite a while, quite in-depth investigation.
Chief Corey says the family came to the U.S. from Romania less than a decade ago and currently live in Houston. They believe the criminal ring may have struck statewide and even beyond. The slip-on devices were found on ATMs inside convenience stores and various banks, and we are told some residents in Portland have already come forward saying money was missing from their account after visiting one of the locations. Portland PD is working with both local, state, and federal agencies on this case, and police want to take the time to warn people, check your bank accounts, see if any money is missing. If you see any kind of strange activity, make sure to call your local police department, as well as when you visit the gas pumps. If you notice anything out of the ordinary about any of those devices, again, call police. And police want to discourage using debit cards at the gas pump or anywhere else. They say you should rather go inside and make a transaction with the clerk instead. For now, live on Buffalo Street, Taylor Alanis, 3 News.
All good advice. Thank you, Taylor.